everybody, welcome back to this random journey. Today I'm going to be talking to you about this month's challenge and how I'm going to be challenging myself, but also would like to encourage you to go along on this journey with me throughout this next month and possibly longer. So let's talk about what my new challenge is for this month. Before I get started, I just want to say hi, my name's Amanda. If you're new here, I noticed that we had several new subscribers, and I just wanted to make sure you know who I am and what this channel is all about. So I started this channel basically to bring people along for the journey of our life. So this is kind of a random journey. That's why it's called This Random Journey. We do all kinds of things on this channel, from just daily vlogs, cleaning, like we have been taking you over to our new property as we was fixing it up, that kind of thing. So there's just a random assortment of our life, and we're bringing you along for that journey. Some other challenges that I have done that you might be interested in going back and watching is my low sugar challenge, and also my celery juice challenge, and then I just completed the 10,000 step challenge. So if you're interested in going back into my playlists or back into my videos and looking at those, go for it. So we're getting on to the new challenge for this month, and that is going to be the 3-4 fasting. So basically what 3-4 fasting is, at least that's what I'm calling it. I'm not sure exactly what the technical name is for it, but the 3-4 fasting will be 3 days fasting. That'll be no food, and then 4 days I will be allowed a certain amount of calories, but any food that I choose to eat during those 4 days. Now, let me just talk about kind of the prism of this, because you're probably thinking there's no way I could go along with you on this journey and try to do that with you, because I have maybe you have diabetes and you can't go a full day without eating. There's actually ways that you can do this challenge with me and still be able to eat some foods. So I have looked into this and wanted to make sure that everybody could participate and benefit from this type of fasting. And so if you do suffer from diabetes or something else that could make it hard for you, particularly not to eat all day long, I would limit yourself to 500 calories for the day. So that way you could have snacks throughout the day to keep your sugar levels regulated throughout the day, that kind of thing. But yeah, I think that it would be a great idea for you to maybe try doing that if you feel like you can, and if you feel like it's something that you would want to do along with me, I think it would be great. So for me, I'm going to be doing a full 3 days without any food, because I have tried in the past fasting with eating like one meal a day, that kind of thing. And every single time that I eat something, it makes me feel like I'm going to starve, because that's just how my body is programmed, I guess. But anyways, so I've just decided to omit food for 3 days, and then on Thursday I will be allowed to eat, but I can only eat a certain amount of calories, and I determined the amount of calories that I can eat based off 2 things. And let me give you examples of how I came up with the amount of calories. So the amount of calories I have put for myself that I can have is 1,700 calories on my eat days. So how did I get that number? Well, there's 2 things that you need to look up and find out, and that is your BMR, which is your basal metabolic rate. And yes, I'm looking at my notes. Mine was 1,479. And then you also need to find your maintenance, and there's calculators for both of those on the internet. So basically, maintenance is the amount of calories that you burn like throughout the day and that kind of thing. So Susie's out there. So anyways, I found those 2 numbers, and then I found the middle point of them, and which was the 1,700 calories that I said before. So finding the middle point, and what I'm going to do on my eat days is try to stay close to that number. I can stay within those two numbers, but trying to stay as close to the middle number as possible. And then if I lose weight throughout this process, then I will have to recalculate all that and reduce the amount of calories based on what all has happened with my body, which I am guessing that I'm going to lose weight just from past experience, knowing that fasting alone usually will help you to lose weight and that kind of thing. To calculate my calories on my eat days, I will be using the Lose It app. I've made videos on this before. It's how I lost all my weight previously. It's been a few years ago now. Been a few years ago now that I have gained all that weight back through circumstances in life and just going through the grieving process of losing a lot of people and that kind of thing. So I'm trying to get my body back to the place that it was before I went through all the trauma and the grief and all that kind of stuff. Just trying to get myself back into that mode. So I'm going to be using the same app, but I'm going to be doing it along with the fasting just to kind of fast track and also for other reasons, not just weight loss, but to get my health back on track. But also I want to work on my spiritual person, so my spiritual disciplines. I've talked about this in the past month or so. I've really been talking about wanting to get, my prayer life better. I want to do fasting every week to some extent at the foreseeable future. I don't know if that looks like 3 days or 1 day or what have you, but I wanted to make it a part of my routine. So prayer, fasting, and then also daily Bible reading, making sure I'm reading my Bible every single day. I would like to read 5 chapters at least every day. And I have made up a tracker for that. I think I showed it on here, but I'm not 100% sure if I did. So if I didn't, I'm sorry, and I'll try to show you a different time. So there's a couple reasons I chose this challenge over the strength training challenge that I had mentioned previously in another video. The reason I chose this one instead is because I need to work more on my spiritual person, my spiritual disciplines, and I'm really wanting to get those honed in because I feel like if I can get those honed in, then I can get my body in order as well. Plus, I know that there's so many benefits to fasting, and water-only fasting can reset and really help your body. So not only do people report, having weight loss, but they also report, like their blood pressure getting better and that kind of thing. So when I was doing my research on this, that was kind of the big kicker. It's like I really need to get myself slimmed down, and I really need to get myself in order spiritually before I can even begin to work on strength training and that kind of thing. So strength training will come eventually, but for now I'm going to focus more on getting the weight off and working on my spiritual person over strength training. So another reason I chose this challenge over the strength training is because my pastor this year has set a vision for our church, and it was going to be first focus. And he talks about first focus, and he's had a couple sermons now where he's talked about specific things he wants us to work on and working on ourselves. And he talked about how if we are not healthy, how can we help other people in any way? If we're sick laying in bed, we can't go to someone in need, we can't help other people, that kind of thing. So if we're paying outrageous amounts of money to go to the hospital all the time because we're sick or having health problems, then we can't help people financially, that kind of thing. So getting ourselves in order, and he has 3 key things that he wants us to work on, and that's mind, body, and spirit. And so each day that I'm fasting, the 3 days, Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, on Monday I'm going to be focusing on praying for my mind and that kind of thing. On Tuesday I'm going to be praying for my body and just making sure that my body is in order, and all the things that go along with that, not just the physical person, but we're also going to be talking about the spirit. And so the spirit is super important, making sure that our heart is right, that we're loving others, all that kind of good stuff. So each day I'm going to be praying for one of those elements that he has asked us to pray about and to work on this year. Okay, so here it is. We are on day 1 of this new challenge, the new month. So it's March 1st, 2021. And we are going to begin with the mind. And one thing that I took away from a sermon I heard recently from a lady in our church is that we need to stop with the negative self-talk. And she explained it as being, what is it? Oh. She explained it as being shame talk versus guilt. So you can be guilty of something and be you're sorry. You are sorry that you did it, but you can move on from it now. Like that was a silly thing to do, but you've moved on now. Whereas shame talk, you're going to talk down to yourself like, oh, I'm so stupid that I did that. I shouldn't have done that. Like, that's horrible. Like, I'm a horrible person. That kind of stuff. Whereas guilt is like you recognize, yeah, that was not a good choice. And in the future, I need to make better choices. Like you learn from your lesson. Whereas the shame is like, I'm going to talk down to myself. So she explained that in this beautiful way that I cannot explain it, but anyways, and so that is what I'm going to be focusing on for this week. Whenever I'm thinking about my mind, I'm going to be trying to keep my negative self-talk away and recognize the guilt part of it, like, oh, that was a silly thing to do. I need to learn from that mistake and do it better next time. So that's what I'm working on for my mind this week, and what I've been praying for this today on Monday. So of course, I want to make sure that at the beginning of this, I document not only my weight, but I want to document my measurements. So I'm going to be taking my weight, which I did this morning, first thing in the morning, and I weighed 156.6 pounds, which is about where I've been staying recently. So I was happy with that starting weight. And we will see how that progresses over the next month. And then I will also be looking at my measurements, which I have not done as of yet today, but I will do that before I go to bed tonight. I will get all my measurements and write them down. So if you're going to do this with me, I want you to do the same thing. I want you to take your weight and take all your measurements, because the measurements are going to be very important at some point. So if you lose so much weight and then you begin to strength train, then what's going to happen is you're going to get to a point where you stop losing weight and you actually may even gain weight back. And in order to have the reference of I've lost this many inches is super important, because you're going to get to a point, and do that throughout the process, like maybe once a week or what have you, because you're going to get to that point where you start losing inches, but you might even gain a little bit of weight. So take those measurements if you're going to do this with me. I'm super excited. I don't know about you guys, but I think this is going to be a fun challenge, a very challenging challenge, but a fun one nonetheless. And I'm really expecting some great results, both physically and spiritually. Well, guys, that's the challenge. That's going to be the challenge for this month. The month of March is going to be the 3-4 fasting. I hope that you guys come along on this journey with me. If you do, or if you're planning on it or thinking about it, make sure to comment down below so that I can see that you're planning to try or at least follow this journey. I love communicating with you guys down there in the comments, so please comment. Don't forget to subscribe so that you can be up to date on all the videos that comes out. Hit the little bell notification. Make sure to hit the thumbs up button if you liked this particular video. And oh, don't forget, we're trying to reach 500 subscribers by March 12th, which is literally like next week. So please subscribe so we can reach that goal of 500 subscribers. Like I said, we have gained so many subscribers, so thank you to all of you who have already subscribed. It means a lot to me, so much to me. So anyways, I hope you guys liked it. I will see you again tomorrow.